on LinkedIn and everything. And so he was really appreciative of that. So we got together last week and we're just trying to think through what maybe some of the next steps are and all that. And it really came down to, I like to talk about vulnerability a lot, but it really kind of helped me see that, vulnerability is really, for me, I think, a means to an end. And so I really like connecting people, right? So I get like some kind of weird kick out of that. So I don't know. I was thinking so we got talking about it, and I was thinking, like, what is I just want to explore all the options that are available to me. And like, there's so many ways that are so low overhead now. You know what I mean? As far as, and I think that, I don't know, I feel like I want to run with the Book of Open. I'm getting so many cool stories and there's more coming in all the time. And I thought that this seems like a good, I don't know, self-fulfilling whatever, right? So, and I think that, I don't know, I look around and I just see the world is full of people making shitty, weird choices who they're going to spend their time with, right? So, and I mean, I feel like, especially, I have this weird, well, not weird really, but Tanya always makes fun of me about this, but I'm like a woman saver for some reason. I don't really know why, but I just like to, I don't know, it seems to, I don't know why, actually, to be honest. So, I don't know where that comes from, but I thought that, I think that I could spend a really solid hour talking to women about how to make better choices, make more informed choices about who they're going to spend their time with. And I mean, and I say this in the most humble way. I realize that I have a certain appeal to the cougar population. So I thought, you know what, why not?
You could have ended it at, you have a certain appeal.
Yeah, okay. But I mean, why not take advantage of that, right? To maybe
totally, that's exactly what I do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Right. So, yeah. And then if I just say, I want, like I was telling you the other day, if I think that for you to, because really what I want to talk about is like, if you don't love and accept yourself, I mean, you're just going to make dumb choices, basically, right? I mean, how could you not? So, and then maybe as part of that, just have them submit some stories and to the Book of Open as like a, jab, jab, hook, as Gary Vaynerchuk says, right? I don't know if you read his stuff, but so, yeah, and I don't know, that's what I was thinking, right? So then I was talking last week to a guy, it was funny, after the coaching session, I went down to Chatham and I met with a guy, I don't know if you read the story on the Book of Open called While We Sleep Soundly, about the cop who suffers from PTSD.
Yeah.
So I went down and met him last week, and he is at the exact same spot that I'm at, where he's like, I don't want to, he's pretty successful cop. Like, I mean, he's a detachment commander, like, and he doesn't want to do it at all. And he really wants to, they're at the exact same spot. So we said, you know what, let's do a webinar. Let's hold each other accountable to doing a webinar, right? So, and I said, I'll find out like the nuts, we're going to get together on Saturday. And I said, I don't know really anything about it, but I know somebody who I bet you would help me. And here we are. So, yeah, and that's where we're at. So I just think it would be a nice way to take a positive step to start being proactive. You know what I mean?
Yeah, cool. So in terms of what I can contribute, it's just, you want to know like basically how you do it and how you set it up and stuff like that.
Yeah, like and like how do you market it, or how do you get people to show up, or I guess that kind of stuff. Like what platform do you use? I know there's like Easy Webinar and
yeah, well, there's a number of different ways to do it. I'm a little bit of an anomaly in that I created a market from sort of a warm market, meaning that I became a certified facilitator with Access, and there's all these thousands of people in Access around the world, where if you're willing to show up as an expert or a creator, people start to follow you. And so I just did that. I created that through about a year of like sharing on Facebook and just sharing tools and things like that. So my market is kind of unique that way, in that it was sort of there and then I just nurtured it. Right.
Yeah, right.
But there's a lot of people that do, I took a class once on how to, and I didn't get through but the first like 2 modules because I got bored, but essentially how to create a webinar and market it through Facebook and do a lead page and all of that stuff. So I don't know a ton about that, but I know to point you I know I've played with it. So I know where to point you and where you could probably where you could play with it too.
Yeah.
So the thing to do, what I would look at is, so I would just give you some questions to ask yourself first. It's like, so, I mean, clearly you know who your target market is. So it's women, maybe between an age and an age, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so those women. What do those women do? Because one of the things you can do with Facebook marketing, when you get into, I want to say, well, I'm going to have to actually do this as we talk about it. There's I have no words. Hold on.
Do you do like paid advertising on Facebook?
Sometimes, yeah, and sometimes it's gotten me stuff. I haven't played with it in the way that I could because I already have like this following.
Yeah.
But that's something to look at too. It's like, what beyond this webinar, what is it you really like? What's the energy even of what it is you desire to create with this? Because one of the things I was aware of as you were talking is like the only thing you're offering in this 10 seconds is for people to submit their stories to the Book of Open. Mm-hmm. You got to get that after you start doing these webinars, people are actually going to want to pay you for being in their lives.
Right. Yeah. So I know. I still struggle with that at this point. I don't know what I knew you were going to say that. I don't know. Tanya and I are working on like a sort of a product or service offering around speaking, but I don't want it to be. I want it to be passive, right? Like I don't want it to be more like
time spent.
Yeah, exactly. Like fee for service type of thing. So
you don't want to do coaching and things like that.
I don't know. I don't know if I know I need to work on it.
It's not lighting you up. Okay, so hold on here. So the way you do a Facebook ad is I think you have to have a page.
Yeah, I think so too, because I do have a page and I see it prompting you to promote it all the time.
Right. So, okay, cool. So you've got one. I'm just looking at this here. Yeah, I'm definitely not an expert in this type of thing. I would kind of look at who's the market you have already, who's following you on your blog. How could you use that audience to your advantage? I mean, really, you kind of have to start asking yourself these questions to get some more awareness around it. And what would be the way with the most ease to create more with that? So it's like, so this is one way of doing it, is actually looking into Facebook advertising. And so once you create your ad, and I know, I'm like, where is this called? Pro Editor or something like that. That's not right. I was just in here the other day.
Is it a Facebook tool or?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. Publishing tools, maybe this is it. No, that's not it. All right, I might have to check into this after we get off. But anyway, there's a way to create a Facebook ad and promote it. Why am I not seeing this like right now? Promote your call, boost your website, boost your page. Go to Ads Manager. Here we go. Power Editor, here it is. Okay. So this is a whole thing, and there's a few videos on how to use this, and I would recommend educating yourself on this. Okay. And just YouTube, like how to use Facebook ads and things like that. Jesus Christ, in a basket. That's not what I want. So Power Editor will take you through basically the step-by-step of how to create your ad. Now you need to create a graphic for it. Mm-hmm. That graphic, you want to, it needs to fit certain parameters, so it can't have like over 20% text.
Do you do those yourself, or do you go to like Fiverr or something, or?
Either one. I do them myself, but you could go to Fiverr. That would be easy. The other for the grid tool, to check your graphic once it's created, so you go to Facebook grid tool, just Google that.
Save yourself from disapproval.
Yeah, because the ad has to actually fit a certain percentage of. So this is the grid tool, and then you just choose a file. So you get your graphic created, and you choose a file, and you put it in there, and then what it will do, I'll show you actually. So I'm gonna babble through a bunch of nitty gritty, and then we'll talk more about like what it is you're creating here. So
I love these horses, by the way.
Thank you.
My daughter freaking loved them.
They were the energy of what it was. I was like, I never thought I'd use horses, and yeah. So I was going to promote ruckus makers, and I still might do something with this. Do a free webinar for ruckus makers, and
is that your own?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was aware to expand my audience outside of Access, like I actually do need to advertise because I don't right now. So anyway, so I created this graphic, and what you do with the grid tool is you click the boxes everywhere where there's text.
Okay.
And it will tell you, well, based on this, you have more than 20% text, right? So essentially it's 5 boxes clicked is 20% text. That's the amount of text you're allowed to have on a graphic.
Okay.
For an ad. So when you get this all sorted and you've got your graphics sorted, then you go back to Power Editor you just go back to your page in your Power Editor, and that's where you construct your ad. And when you're constructing your ad, you pick your target market, and you can get really specific, like location in the world, gender, age, whatever, and then Facebook and your budget. And then Facebook will target those people for you, and so your ad will show up in their feed. So what you might want to start paying attention to is, so like because of what I've got listed on, Facebook is algorithmic just like Google. So because of what I've got listed as my source of employment and what I do for a living, I get a certain type of ad that runs through my feed, right? Mm-hmm. And so I pay attention to those. I pay attention to what they use as wording, which ones get my attention and which ones don't, and why. So you want to start doing a little bit of research on that for yourself, because it's like, okay, because it's one thing to create an ad where so this ad is going to get these people's attention, but it's another thing to be congruent with the energy that you are. So It's like you want to be congruent with that, like make sure that the ad has your energy in it and also the energy that will be what people will choose, right? Because it is energetic. Like some of it's logarithmic, but most of it's energetic. People don't really choose based on logic anymore. They're like, oh, I don't know why I'm here. So, and then as far as the webinar goes, like Webinar Jam is the one I've been really eyeballing. I haven't used it yet, but essentially it's extremely user-friendly. With a few videos, you'd know how to use it. And it harnesses the power of Google Hangouts. So essentially it's a Google Hangout that uploads to YouTube right after you're done. But yeah, so there's even an intro video here. This is a really powerful webinar platform. There's lots of these, but this one is fairly intuitive and easy to use. And you have to buy it. So you got to also look at what do you want to create from this? Like, is this, when you look at the investment, is this something that you'd like to keep doing in different ways? Cool. What this does is it not only gives you the platform for how to be seen, like with the Hangout, but it also takes you through creating a landing page, which once people click on your ad, they'll end up on your page. And what's cool about this is that it will take you through on how to create that page and give them a button, which is a call to action, which will sign them up for your webinar. So
is the page hosted on Webinar Jam? Or is I'm
not totally clear on that. Yeah.
Okay.
I never cared enough to ask. So, but also the other cool thing about Webinar Jam now is they've upgraded it. So it's got Webinar Jam Studio, meaning you can actually, after your webinar airs, you can re-advertise it and it will air as if it's live over and over.
So I see that a lot. If you sign up for a webinar and then you miss it, and then you get an email basically saying, "Oh."
Well, you get a replay, but this is also a way to, you don't have to send out a replay. You can just run another webinar.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So yeah, so another possibility. So it's like, so really it's like you can look at, well, what do I want to create with this and not actually know, but does this match the energy of what I want to create? And would I possibly like to be rerunning these, you know, and sending people through my funnel over and over? So this is the one I would use. And again, I can't take you through it because I'm not a member right now, but I mean, the way I've done my stuff, there's also simpler ways. If you kind of already have an audience or you just want to start without getting into all this, you can just like start posting, hey, I'm going to do a free Google Hangout. And one of the things, I mean, that's one of the tools that I use that.
I have never used Google Hangouts.
It's so easy. I can show you how to do that too. Eventbrite.com is what I use to collect people's information. So
that's probably free because they get everybody's information out of it, right?
Yeah, it's free. You can do paid events or free events. It doesn't matter. But I can just show you this real quick. This is actually I think too fast and type too fast. So when you just create an account and then you sign in and you just go to create event. Really easy. You go through all this. So what is it called? Specify where it's held. You can just click online event. When it starts and ends, you can add an event image, event description. You'll create an organizer description, which is for you, and then you can create tickets. So free ticket, paid. So you create a free ticket. The thing to know when you're creating tickets is that you need to enter this in and the quantity available and make sure it's a big quantity because I sold out once. And then you do this little settings thing. And this is where you need to activate. So sales tickets start and end. So this is important. You have to do this. Additional settings and then save. Once you save it, I can't. But what you're going to do, the next step is to go in and change your autoresponders. Leave this page. Because what they'll get once they sign up, they're going to get an email that basically gives them the information of how they come play with you. So where do they go? What's the link? So that's what you want to just...
oh, that's okay. So you create the event and then you say, when they sign up, this is what they get.
Yeah. So if you go here, I'll show you. So this is a free taste of writing. This is the one I created. This was just this is a Zoom event too. So you could also use Zoom. That's another possibility. So when you create the event, this is what will show up. You'll have a dashboard and then you've got all these other things on the side here that you can use here. So what you want to make sure you do, this is a step I forgot often, is go to order confirmation. And order confirmation is going to be the text that shows up when they register.
Okay.
This is where you want to put the link to the Hangout or the link to the Zoom or whatever it is you choose to use for your thing, if you use Eventbrite. And this will just automatically go to them. It will have their time, and I would use a time and date link. And time and date is just timeanddate.com because you're going to have people that sign up from all over the world potentially. And so you just hover over time zones. It will pull down this drop down and you go to event time announcer.
Oh my God, it's gold, baby.
I know. I charge big bucks for this usually.
Best.
So, so event time announcer. So name of your event location. This event location is your time zone. So make sure you put your time zone here. Like just click in your city. Month and date, hour, and the duration, and show result. It will create a link up here in your bar that you just copy and paste. So always use that because people are not smart and they don't think. And so you just make it simple. That way it eliminates them like messaging you. And trust me, there will be a lot of that in the beginning. So time and date link, and then the information where they can go. So if it's a Zoom, that information. If it's a Hangout, that link. And that's it. And then so that's the confirmation. And if you want to, you can also set up additional reminders in here to go out like 2 hours before, a day before, or et cetera, all of that, right? So you just got to look at that. And where you would go to that is emails to attendees down here. and emails scheduled. So you would create a new attendee email, you would schedule it for when you want it. So you can set all of that up ahead of time.
Okay.
Once you get that all set up in Eventbrite, then your link that you're going to give people to sign up for your event is right here. Your event URL is on the event dashboard page. And this, you'll just copy and paste that. And then that goes with any sort of advertising or promotion that you're doing for this event. So that's the link where they would go to sign up. And then every other piece of information is already in Eventbrite, ready to go out automatically because you've already set all that up. Cool. So if you do it this way and you use, so the two platforms that I use are Google Hangouts. So in your Google profile, there's a little thing.
How many people usually show up versus how many people sign up? Is it low?
It's not a steady percentage.
No.
It's not something you can compute. And when you first start, you might be doing a lot of stuff for very few people. Like when I first started, I'd have 10 people sign up. Now I've got like 200. So it's just starting, and it really is starting. What I look at is like, regardless of who shows up, do I want to create this content?
Yeah.
Yeah. And once I create it, what do I want to do with it? How can it contribute to the overall creation of my business and my following? And right. Because the more content you create, the more people can tap into you. So I'm trying to figure out how I do this. I haven't used Hangouts in a while, but essentially you go to your Google page, you go to your Google Plus page, and you do something here. I don't know what you do here. Hold on. Collections, profile, people. It's really easy. Trust me. Let me show you. That's not what I want. See, I haven't done a Hangout in forever. So you schedule a future Hangout. I would just use Zoom, but Zoom you have to pay for it. Hangouts are free. So, okay, here you go. So just Google Hangouts. Go over here to this little menu, pull it out, and then if you see Hangouts on air, you've got that.
Okay.
And you click on that. So
and this is where you would get the link to send out to people, right?
This is the link you would put in your autoresponder in Eventbrite. Because you want to get their information. So one of the coolest things about Google Hangouts is, one, it gets you out there. Two, it actually gets you email addresses to create your list with. And if you're not creating a list, I would start. Mm-hmm. So create a Hangout on air. So you give it a name, you tell people what it's about, which is essentially the same information in Eventbrite. So a lot of times I'll create all these pieces simultaneously. So I'll have my Eventbrite tab open, my Hangout tab open, and I just create it all at the same time. It starts later, you give it a date and a time, and then that's it. And I don't really mess with my audience much. I always leave it public, and then I share. And what that does is it creates a page with a link. So then you take that link, put it in your autoresponder. Okay. Once the Hangout is complete, once it's done, it automatically uploads itself to YouTube. So you got to make sure you have your YouTube channel set up. Yeah. And then YouTube will have a link, and you can of course make that link public or private. And if you want to make it private, you can use it in a different way. If you want to make it public, you can share it all over Facebook or whatever you want to do.
Interesting.
And
so
then
how can you use Zoom more now?
I just like it better. I find that on Hangouts there's a lot of delay. So visual delay, and like you can see right now, we're talking real time and there's very little delay.
Yep.
I just like it better. I think it's more functional, and I don't know that I can't remember if there's a free way to use it. Maybe there is for a while.
There is free peer-to-peer, like one-to-one. I just looked it up actually before we talked. Is free, and then but it's still pretty reasonable.
But if you want to have a group of people join you on the Hangout, which is kind of the point, you might have to pay for that. Like I think it's free up to like 25 people or 30 minutes or something like that. Because I remember I did a Zoom, and I didn't know that, and it cut itself off after like 30 minutes. So we had to go back in, pay for service, and go back into the Hangout. So okay. So you just might want to look at the details of that, but I love it, and it's really easy to use, as you can see. The only thing is that there's a little bit, people have to download a little bit of a software, but yeah.
And then you said you can basically like turn everybody off or like mute everybody if you want, or
Yeah, like exactly. So if I'm just going to sign in and show you a few things.
This is so awesome.
It's good for me too, because I was creating an online business university, and I think I'm now going to really do that.
Oh yeah. Like with this kind of content, I mean,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Because a lot of people don't know how to do this. So the way so when you go, yeah. So like I said before, you can configure your Zoom account in several different ways. I've got it configured as pretty much a meeting room, which, like I said, which has been fine for what I do. But you can also, when you go down here to, see, there's video tutorials down here, so I would watch those. But user recording group archive. What am I looking for? Account management. So I have a pro account, but there's lots of, anyway, check this out. There's just lots of different accounts. You want to look at what you want. So webinars might be the thing you want to do, unless you would like to open it up and have a class, but even in webinars, you can promote people to panelists, which gives them the opportunity to be visible like this.
Mm-hmm.
So
yours are more, do you do more interactive when you do? Okay.
I'm going to be doing, what I look at is what am I desiring to create with it. So some of the things are, I want to just be talking, like I want to just share tools and talk and have that on YouTube and whatever. But a lot of what I do, I actually want to invite people to get through what's sticking them.
Yeah.
And so I do a lot of online facilitation, and that's where, I open it up for questions. And so a lot of my stuff, I'll just open up, I'll say, hey, we're here for a reason. Like I've got this theme, this topic, and I can talk about this. But before we get started, does anybody have anything burning going on? Like, is there any questions right now? And I'll just open it up to questions, because one of the coolest things about that is it gives you, it's not a typical way of doing it, number one, which is interesting to note. But two, it gives you information about where people are.
Yeah, right.
So a lot of times we think that when we start doing this stuff, we think that we've got to be the expert and we've got to have all the information. And we do have a lot of information, but a lot of times we have a lot of information people can't actually hear or receive. And what questions do is they give you the information about where people are that then allows you to give them the information they can hear. So
I know, because I sometimes want to punch Tanya when she does this to me. Not literally.
Yeah.
Shut up. Just let me rant and stop telling me to ask fucking questions.
Yeah. So it's just something to look at for you. And you'll do it in a bunch of different ways and find what works for you. I mean, there's no right or wrong way. It's just something to know.
Yeah. Wow. That's great.
Yeah.
You're the best. Wow. That just saved me so much time. And now I can, I don't know. I just feel like I'm really excited about it, actually.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited to see what you create and what else is possible. Really. I mean, it's like this, it's fun because if you let it be play and you don't make it really significant, it can grow really, like you've done with the Book of Open.
Yeah, well, that's what I feel like too. And like, I don't know if you've been reading, but this guy is he's just crazy how generous he is. And he just emailed me. He said, I totally believe in what you're doing. I think I might have told you this, but maybe not. But one thing he said to me was, there are so many people out there that want to help you, and you just need to tailor your message in a way that, he's just like got all these homework assignments, like for, helping me walk through how to structure this. Because I was getting to the point where I was like 20,000 words into this book, and I was starting to feel like, what the fuck am I even writing about anyways? It was starting to feel kind of rudderless,
Yeah.
So he's really, really helping me put some structure about it. And I'm just trying to get Tanya to convince her to let me quit my job. But we're not quite there yet. It's a work in progress. Golden handcuffs. So.
Does she work too? Like, are you guys both bringing in?
No, I'm the sole.
You're the sole, yeah.
Although she's starting to get some. I think she's starting to appreciate how valuable she is as a photographer.
She's phenomenal.
Oh my God, I know. And you know what? Like what I was saying to her, like, where other people will take your picture, you could create a moment where, like, seriously, you could create a moment where a husband who's never been able to look his wife in the eye and say, I love you. You could create that moment. Fuck, man. Like, and then get it on camera, right? I mean, but what you do is beyond photography.
Yes, every single photo I see of hers, I'm like,
I know.
There's so many layers. I hate to say this, it sounds cliche, but so many layers of magic. Like it's like I can see all of the nuance, and it's like I've never seen photography like that before.
And what happens is that she's kind of like, and I guess like we all are, she's got a little bit of her own, definitely worst critic, right? So what it causes her to do is it causes her to undervalue.
Mm-hmm. We all do that.
Yeah, we all do that, right? So I think she's starting to get through that, right? Like, and understand, like, wow, what I am doing is really friggin' good, actually. So it's really nice to see that. It's really quite exciting. So
that's cool. I'm glad.
All right.
Yeah,
well, hey,
cool.
I don't have any more of your time. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. And message me anytime.
All right. Thanks.
Okay.
Take care.
See ya.
Bye.